So today I'm going to chat to you about medication for mental health problems, particularly antidepressants. Obviously, I am not a medical professional. I don't know more than what I've experienced about medication. I just want to share my experience with medication personally, what it's done for me, a bit of the negative side of it, I guess. In no way am I saying this will work for everyone. In no way am I saying this will work straight away. It does take time, and it does a lot of the time take the trying of different medications to find out what works for you. So I'll just start by telling you what I'm on. So right now I'm on 100 milligrams of sertraline. That fluctuates from 100 one day, 50 another. And the reason I'm on this medication is because I have BPD, OCD and PTSD. I think this medication, I was put on it to sort of control my moods, because obviously it is an antidepressant, but they are prescribed for like anxiety disorders and things like that. I was offered antipsychotics to cope with the borderline personality disorder, but I didn't want to go down that route, I guess. But taking just an antidepressant has significantly helped me a lot, so that's why I want to talk about it. I feel like I might big up antidepressants a lot in this video, and I don't want people to think that I don't understand the negative side effects. Obviously this is just because I've personally had this kind of experience, and that is the experience I want to share. So do not take what I'm saying as point blank, this is how it will be, this is how it should be. It's all so subjective. I feel like there might be a lot that I miss out in this video, because I do get really like nervous and sort of like derealise a bit when I'm filming stuff. Yeah, let's just get on with me telling you my experience with antidepressants. So, like I said, I'm currently on sertraline, and this is the one that is working for me. However, this isn't how I started. Originally, I was on fluoxetine. I think they put me on that because I'd only just turned 18, and there's a whole like difficulty in like the medication field for people who are under 18 and like around that age, I think. So they originally put me on that, and I was only on that for like 3 months, and I was like, no, it's not working. Like I really didn't want to be on it, and I genuinely feel like I didn't give that drug a chance. So if you have been put on that, then definitely give it a chance, because I definitely didn't. I really didn't want to be on medication at the time, so I wasn't really open to it, I guess, from what I can remember. I came off that for like a couple of months, and then my mental health got really bad, and my anxiety got really bad, and I went to the doctors, and he basically prescribed me with propranolol, which is a beta blocker for anxiety, just like calms down your heart and stuff, and sertraline, which I'm on now. And again, at first I was like, I'm not taking it, like I don't want it, I'll take the anxiety meds, but I don't want to take like the antidepressants. Like I really didn't want to, but my family was like, the doctors told you to. I've been on it for like probably 1.5 years now. I began taking it in August 2018. I remember that because it was literally just after Leeds. Like I got Leeds over and done with, and then I was like, right, let's do it. And in the first few months of being on sertraline, I started uni, so I was going through like a big life change. So obviously that was gonna be big on my mental health, but it was probably about November when I feel like it began to kick in, which is obviously quite a long time, but it is so worth it. And obviously it wasn't just like I sort of woke up and felt better. I say it's November because the last time I like did anything to harm myself was October. I just want to point out, whilst I look incredibly confused for a few seconds, that was 1 year and 5 months roundabout since I last harmed myself or tried to do anything similar to that, so that just shows what a big improvement I've sort of had. And one of the reasons I can pinpoint it sort of working as well is because in late September, maybe October, I don't really remember, me and my boyfriend broke up, and from past experience and from the fact that I have BPD, that is like, logically I was like, I am not going to be able to cope with this. Surely I'm not. Like, I've just moved to uni, I've just started a whole new life, I'm surrounded by people I don't know, and my BPD relies on relationships, friends or not, and I've just lost someone that I loved. So to me it was like, here we go. Like, it's gonna get bad. But I coped with it really well. October was a bit of a up and down month, but after that I feel like I treated the way I felt with the breakup and, you know, other things like fallouts and not feeling maybe great in uni work, etc. Like, I feel like I treated that in a more balanced way, and from then on I just sort of noticed a more chilled out side to myself. So like, in situations where I know that usually I'd get really angry or like something would really bother me and I'd like act out on it, I just became more like, is what it is kind of thing. Like, yeah, that's like a bad situation to be in, but it is what it is. And I'm not saying this is like purely down to medication, because in that December I did do 10 sessions of DBT, which is like borderline personality disorder therapy, and even though I only did 10 when you're supposed to do like a year's worth because we couldn't afford it anymore, I definitely did take stuff from that. So if you are watching this and you have BPD, definitely check that out, because I definitely took stuff from that. But that is like a whole other video kind of thing, I guess. I'm trying to focus on the medication, but they did, I think, obviously it's mental health, I don't have the answers, I don't know, but I think they went hand in hand. I think the sertraline, the antidepressant, balanced my moods, and then the DBT gave me the tools to deal with those moods and to deal with, because obviously taking an antidepressant doesn't change my life, it doesn't change the world I live in, it doesn't change how people treat me. So what I'm basically saying is, bad things are still going to happen to me if I'm on antidepressants, and I think the DBT helped me still be able to deal with those bad things and recognise that when I was feeling in a low mood that it was normal, and like, it didn't mean that, you know, I was in an episode or my antidepressants weren't working. Whilst I was noticing this like stability in my moods, I also, a lot later down the line, because obviously when I started to deep it, realised that like, with that maybe I wasn't reacting enough, I guess. So like, for example, I used to be the type of person who would be able to cry so easily at like TV shows and that kind of thing, but if I watch something now, I'm literally sat there and I'm like, why? Like, cry, like, feel something. I'm not saying antidepressants numb me to the point where I can't feel anything. I just think I was on maybe too high of a dose. So that's when I went to the doctors and I said, I think I'm on too high of a dose, because whilst I reaped the benefits of this antidepressant, like, it did help massively, there were also things where I was like, could I tone down the antidepressant and get a little bit more of the emotions back, kind of thing. And it wasn't just the emotions, it was like sort of sex drive and like things in that area were kind of a bit more depleted. I did start to lower my antidepressants gradually, and we were trying to get myself to 50 milligrams instead of 100. I noticed when we were doing that I would start to feel not very good a lot, and I was sort of getting back into the old habits of like, if something upset me, would upset me a lot. So I went back to the doctors and I said, this is scaring me, what can we do? Is there a middle ground, because going that much lower isn't going to work for me. So then now we've done it to like 100 milligram one day, 50 milligram the next day. I don't really know how that's sort of working for me completely yet, because I'm not the best at like doing that properly, and I feel like I just need to wait a bit longer before I give sort of like a overview on that. I think when I did notice that this was working for me would be when I'd forget to take it, because usually I take it in the morning. So if it was a day where I just forgot to take it, by the afternoon I would start to feel like ill, like not like really ill, but I'd feel like just a bit sick and just a bit like what's wrong with me, and my mood would also go, and I'd be like, why do I feel like this? Like, not felt like this in a while. And then I'd think, oh, I've not taken my meds today, and then I'd take my medication, and that often usually only happens when I do forget it. So I did put it down to that, because I wasn't sure if it would even work like that, like if I missed it for a day, like I would feel the effects. But personally, that's what I've experienced. Obviously it would be lovely to feel like this and to feel stable without needing medication. I completely understand the stigma around it, I guess, that like it numbs you and it takes away who you are, and like once you get on them, like you're gonna rely on them for the rest of your life. But that's not the case. Often it's not. I know a lot of people who have been on antidepressants for a couple of years and then come off them, and it's been great for them. I'm not one of those people in that place right now, and that is so fine for me because I'm doing well. But that can be daunting for a lot of people. Like, I've had a lot of people say to me, oh, I couldn't go on antidepressants, like I don't want to rely on something like that, and they say it like it's a bad thing, and it's just not. Like, if someone had like a physical illness, like where they have to take medication every day for the rest of their lives, like you wouldn't go, oh, think it's a shame that you have to do that. In the way that if you have a physical illness, you need to take medication to substitute for something in your body or to help with the pain or whatever it is. With mental health and antidepressants, there's a chemical imbalance in your brain generally, and you're balancing that chemical imbalance by taking that medication, just as you would if you had a physical ailment. And it's only because of the stigma that people think that's different. Like, if someone didn't take a painkiller, they'd be different to how they are when they do take the painkiller, I guess, because if they didn't take it, then they'd be moping around all day, they'd be in pain, their body would change, the way they act, the way they speak to people. So if I don't take my antidepressant, I change. I become more down, or I feel a bit nauseous, or that kind of thing. But once again, I just have to reiterate that what I'm on will not work for everyone, and not every medication will work for everyone, and different mental illnesses need different care and different medication, and you might work better through other means like therapy. You might work good like I did with both. I wouldn't advise you to take medication just because it's the first option that's available before therapy, unless you do think you need it or as something to help you whilst you wait for therapy kind of thing. But don't just take it as sort of like a quick fix, because it's not. Like I said, it took me months to feel the effects, and it was like 6 months before that when I actually started taking some form of medication for my mental illness. And so for some people it can take longer than that for them to find what works for them. I do think that antidepressants have been worth it for me, and it's up to you to decide whether they will be for you. So that's the end of the video. Like, subscribe, I don't know, share the video. You never know with this kind of video like who it's going to reach and who it's going to help. I hope that this advice experience thing has been helpful to someone. So yeah, thanks for watching and stay home.